Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Radifa Mafaza Balkis. My student number is 234-10868. And today I'm going to present about implementation and issues of agrarian reform in Indonesia, the case study on land reform policies and their impact. So we start with the background of these issues, why I took these issues as my presentations. So the background is agrarian reform in Indonesia address a long-standing issues of unequal land ownership and limited access for marginalized communities. These disparities have hindered economic growth and contributed to high poverty levels, particularly in rural areas. The Indonesian government aims to implement reform that promote equitable land distributions, reduce poverty, and boost economic inclusion for disadvantaged groups, aligning with broader national development goals. And then this case was chosen to examine Indonesia's complex socio-economics and legal challenges in achieving agrarian reform. By exploring historical land conflict, ongoing policy adjustment, and the reform impact on the rural economy, we gain insight into Indonesia's attempt to balance traditional land right with modern economic pressure. And then I have these problem identifications. The first one is land ownership inequality, the second one is environmental exploitations, and then the third one is regulatory and policy challenges. Let me explain. The first one is the land ownership inequality. A significant percentage of Indonesia's land is owned by a small portion of the populations, with rural and indigenous communities often lacking legal land rights. And then the second one is environmental exploitations. The prevalence of corporate plantations, for example, palm oil and logging, has led to deforestations and displacement of local communities. And then the third one is regulatory and policy challenges. Complex land certification process and overlapping laws are slowed down the land redistribution process. And here's more details about the problem identifications. The first one, land ownership inequality. In Indonesia, a large portion of land is concentrated in the hands of a few, often wealthy individuals or corporations, while many rural and indigenous communities remain without secure legal rights to land. This inequality impacts the livelihoods and socio-economic stability of these communities, reinforcing cycles of poverty. The next one is environmental exploitations. Expansive corporate plantations, especially for palm oil and logging, have led to widespread deforestation, soil degradations, and then the displacement of local communities. This environmental exploitation not only threatens biodiversity but also undermines indigenous communities' cultural and economic ties to the land. And then the third one is regulatory and policy challenges. Land reform has been slowed by complex certification process and overlapping regulations between different governmental bodies. These regulatory hurdles create inefficiencies, making it difficult to land distributions effort to be implemented effectively. The next one, we have a problem identification, and then we also have existing problem solutions. When we have a problem, we also have to uh, serve the solutions. So the first one is land redistributions. The second one is one map policy, and then the third one is certifications program. The first one is land redistribution programs. The government has initiated program like Redistribusi Tanah, aiming to transfer ownership of unused government and corporate lands to small farmers. The second one is One Map Policy or Kebijakan Satu Peta. This policy was launched to unify different land maps and address conflicting land claims. And then the third one is certification program. The Indonesian government has also implemented program Tanah Objek Reforma Agraria, or we can call TORA, to issue land certificates to rural inhabitants. The next one is implemented solution, also still the implemented solution. As part of its commitment to agrarian reform, the government has successfully distributed over 4 million land titles to a farmer under the TORA program, significantly advancing toward the 2019 target. So here is the diagram, I guess, diagram. Okay, next slide. The implemented solutions. The establishment for dedicated task forces aim to facilitate agrarian reform process and streamline the resolution of land dispute, ensuring that affected communities can efficiently address their grievance. The second one is, and then the recent enactment of regional laws recognize the land of indigenous communities over the ancestral land, providing essential legal framework for dispute resolution and enhancing protection against external encroachment. And then next, the conclusion and suggestion. The first one is although significant progress have been achieved in issuing land titles, the overall impact remains limited due to persistent administrative challenges and insufficient follow-up support for beneficiaries, which hampers their ability to utilize their land effectively. And then to improve the situation, it is crucial to enhance transparency in the land allocation process, foster greater participation of indigenous and local communities in decision making, and invest in suitable land use planning initiatives. This plan will help mitigate environmental degradation while ensuring the land rights are respected and upheld for future generations. And then we are going to Islamic law perspective about these issues. In Islamic jurisprudence, land rights are grounded in the principles of maslahah or public interest and adl justice. Islamic law emphasizes the importance of productive and equitable land use, ensuring that property rights do not adversely affect the community or environment. A Sharia-based approach to agrarian reform will prioritize equitable distribution of land and resources, encouraging sustainable practice that benefit both individual landholders and the broader community. This method align with Islamic values by fostering social justice and environmental stewardship. I think that's all for me. Thank you so much for your attention and sorry if I am mistaken. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.